Hey guys, welcome to Real Shit Friday. And it's actually Friday, so I feel like we're doing something right, Carlos. How are you
Yes,
today?
I'm good. How about you, Coco?
I am good. I am exhausted, but that's just the life of a boss bitch. You're always tired, but then you're also getting that shmoney, so I don't know if I should be complaining. But today, since I have had a crazy, crazy, crazy busy week, I haven't really had the opportunity to think of something profound for us to talk about, but I do have a couple of ideas. Now, I know I always say shush and don't tell your best ideas on the podcast because somebody can steal it. But that's also the plus about having a podcast because if somebody tries to steal your ideas, you can be like, bitch, and rewind and then let them know that it was your idea first. So, I wanted to tell you an idea that I had for a movie and I need you to help me finish it
Okay.
because it's kind of ridiculous, but I feel like it can go somewhere. So, basically, okay, let me go to the backstory. This is gonna take a little while. So it started with me and my husband being in the backyard, and we had a little bonfire, and we were just roasting marshmallows and just talking and yada yada yada, right? And it was just a little bit of quiet, of like silence between us, and I started thinking about something. And I don't know what made me think of it, but it just seemed like, I think I was thinking about, oh, would it be cute? It would be cute if me and my husband would pitch a tent one day in the backyard and just pretend to camp because, because life. I think that's what I was thinking about. And that brought me to the idea of, have you ever heard of a horror movie that takes place outside of the house and inside the house at the same time? Like, have you ever heard of that? I know it just makes no sense right now.
Wait,
But
no, I haven't.
okay, exactly. So I was thinking of this idea, which I thought could be one really lame or two really bomb, which would be a family of like six. Let's say they have it's a mom, a dad, and four young kids. So we have like a young like 2 year old, and then another one is three. Maybe the other one's five. And then there's another one that's older, but he's like autistic or something, or just some type of challenge, you
Hmm.
know? And they are you shut up. I tried to be politically correct. Carlos, shut the fuck up. Anyway, shut up. Anyway, this is important to the story, so shut up. So I was thinking, like, they always do a whole bunch of family stuff inside all the time. Like, they're always hanging out with their kids, making forts, and they're just like this cool hipster parents. One of the parents' mother lives in the house with them. Like, the mother-in-law lives with them in a separate room. So one day,
Sounds about
they
white.
exactly, right? So one day the father got mad busy and was unable to really kind of hang out with the kids like they normally did, and like the wife was noticing that that they were both kind of spending less time with their children and paying too much time with their work and stuff like that, and having to answer calls and go on meetings and blah blah blah. So one day the mom decided to talk to the husband about possibly having a no cell phone day with the kids in the backyard. Now, since they're still young and there's so many of them, they really don't feel safe going camping for real. But they have like a really big yard because like they live on like a farmland, so they have a giant yard.
Uh
So
huh.
they have a bunch of acres. So the mom was like, let's pitch a tent far, far, far in the yard, like in the back, and just pretend like we're not at home. No cell phones, no nothing. And just hang out with the kids, tell ghost stories, have a grand old time. Very white, I know. But that was her idea. And so they decide to go and, buy a tent and then come home and pitch it way, way, way in the back of their farmland, way behind the house where it can't be seen from the house. But the grandmother is too old, so she doesn't really want to participate. So she says she'll stay in the house for the night. So nightfall comes and they pitch the tent and they get all the kids quietly there. Remember, these kids are mad young, so they don't really
Hmm.
follow direction very well or anything. So they haul them all into the tent. It starts getting dark. They start having their little evening together, yada yada yada. Then all of a sudden, they look at their house from where they are, way in the back, and they see a bunch of lights turning on, and they don't know what the hell's going on because it's obviously not their grandmother because there's different lights in different rooms turning on really fast. And they realize shortly that they start seeing some shadows in the windows. and it's a bunch of masked men that are in their household. And remember, they don't have their cell phones, they don't have any communication, and they have their young kids that they don't want to scare because they'll make noise. So they just peer out and they start seeing like a different movement, and then they see one of like a couple of the masked men go up to where the mother is, turn on that light, and they hear screaming and like a tussle, and I guess they must have killed the mom in the house. Blah 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 blah. But the whole concept of the movie, to make a long story short, is that all this horror is going on, and they can't really do much in that tent, so they're watching it from their tent, watching like their house get ransacked and all that stuff, and they're watching the masked men wait for them to get home. So they're people that have some kind of connection with the family, or know that the family, either was away for the night, they knew they weren't in the house, yada yada yada, but they're waiting for them to come home. So the
Uh-huh.
parents, meanwhile, have to think of how they're going to escape the tent without making a bunch of noise because the kids are there. The tent can barely be seen from the house, so the guys don't know that they're in the backyard. So they got to figure out how to get these kids out of the tent without making a whole bunch of noise. I was thinking about making it where like there's like an electric fence around their yard, so it's hard for them to get them and the kids all out of the yard either. So like a whole bunch of stuff. So help me fucking figure out this plot, okay? Because I think I have something here, Carlos. I have
I
something.
I mean, it's interesting. It's very interesting. My only problem is I would just leave. I would just walk away. I would be
But
like,
that's
oh,
the
no.
thing. What if there's like they have all these loud ass kids that they can't really.
Listen,
They have the
listen.
slow
Knock the
one, and they have an
knock
electric
slower.
fence. Listen,
I would knock them the fuck out, and then I'm gonna from there.
Carlos, pacify me here. I need to figure
Okay.
out the rest of my plot.
So what would I do if I was in that case? I feel like the special kid has to have a role in this.
Wait, hold on, hold
Um,
on. Wait. We gotta go back to the beginning. I need to figure out how I'm gonna make the connection between these mass robbers and that family. How they know that family has money, and why they're
well, I
targeting
think
that
because
family.
I think it has to be do with the dad's job, and since
Yeah.
the dad made a deal, and since they took the phones away, he wasn't able to like pay off his deal or something, so they came to
Mm.
come get the money because like that's why he's
See?
been on the phone so much, because he's been trying to close this deal, and because his wife forced him to put down his phone for the day. The people got mad at him, and then they're gonna come and get his and fuck up his family.
See. I knew Mr. Hollywood would help me out with this. I knew
Hmm.
I wasn't alone. Um. So okay, that's figured out. Cool. Now, what about the grandmother? I need to figure out how they know she was there. Or maybe they didn't. Maybe they just rolled upon her and just killed her or something.
Yeah,
I
she just gets killed because she can.
She's an innocent victim in this. Okay,
Yep,
cool.
just innocent.
And I also need to figure out how to keep them in the backyard and why they can't leave their backyard. That is the number one thing that I have to figure out. Like, what is it?
Um, let's see. You could do like a chain link. You could just have like a chain link fence. It's fenced in the backyard, or like maybe they're really wealthy, so they are perched up on like a hill that overlooks the water, and there's just like a cliff, so there really isn't anywhere for them to go.
True. Ooh, I actually like that. So it's more of like a landscape reason why they can't leave. So,
Yeah, like they can't. It's too dangerous to go down the rocky cliff. That's the part because their house is perched up on this hill that overlooks the water.
okay. That makes sense. Now, so that could be a viable plan. That still has a couple holes, but we'll work on it. Back to the kid, the slow kid. What were you saying?
I feel like the slow kid has to save the day.
Okay. Why? Because that's just the least likely thing to happen.
Yeah, I feel like the slow kid's gonna be like because every scary movie that I ever see and it has like a kid that's like mentally challenged, they always end up being like the savior. Like the what am I thinking? The movie The Village, and
Yes.
the blind one had to
But
go
she
save the
wasn't
community.
slow.
Well, she had a disability, but she was blind, and like she was the only one that couldn't see the evil things that were coming after
True.
them.
Okay, that's true. By the
So
way,
I
I
feel
love
like,
that movie, and everybody hates that movie.
oh, I love The Village, but I feel like the special needs kid needs to like because maybe they're autistic and they don't understand fear, so they are actually with the only kid that can like know what's going on, um
True.
and like be able to help the parents out, and like they're
And
small
he's
enough
the oldest, so.
yeah, so they're maybe like small enough to get through a hole, or like something. I feel like that's what it is. I think like it should be something like that.
Carlos, I think this would totally be a great B-rated movie. I feel like,
It'll be on the worst of the worst.
yes, it will be eventually, but I feel like Netflix would eat this shit up. I swear they would. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. This one would be a
Have you watched
masterpiece.
A Quiet Place yet? Have you seen that movie?
I haven't. Well, I tried to, and the problem is we were watching it on, one of those fancy services, the not so fancy
Hmm.
services, and
Uh-huh.
the the sign language closed captioning was in like Japanese, so it was useless. It was useless.
No, that movie had me dying. I
Don't
was
tell me
dying.
anything. I gotta see. I gotta see. I gotta see.
It was a good movie. But no, yeah, I think that'd be a good ending. Or like yeah, I feel like, and then the other kids I feel like should be sleeping the whole time. Like maybe the mom had to like drug them so they didn't wake up or something.
What?
That
So
makes
she
just
had like fucking Nyquil just chilling in the tent?
maybe.
Okay, maybe. I don't know. I have no idea. Or Benadryl. Oh, you know what? No, she has allergies, so being outside for a long time bothers her. So she has a shit ton of Benadryl because she knew she was
Hmm.
gonna need it. Haha. So she gave it to the kids, and they're like fucking too, so they're gonna get knocked the fuck out. Ah, there we go. Haha. Okay. So middle point is what we have to figure out. So what's keeping them frightened, and what it can't just be a whole movie like the first half be action and the rest of it just being sit and wait until morning while these guys are waiting for them. So there has to be something else happening, like maybe a cousin comes over that comes and bugs them all the time or something, and they get entangled in this whole thing, or somebody comes through that's not a part of this but gets trapped in it, and then it's finally the dad's like, oh my god, I can't
or
go in, or something
or
like
they're
that.
outside, so like maybe a bear or like a wolf is trying to come up because they left some food outside, and a bear, and they have to be quiet and not let them know that they are outside, and still try to fight the bear too.
Oh, that is a lot of fucking stress. Um, that's a lot. That actually is pretty cool. That's a cool twist. Like, you know how like you just don't tell, there's a trailer and doesn't tell you exactly what the threat is, and then out of fucking nowhere, boom, it's like a fucking giant spider or something. That is
Yeah,
so cool. That's a great ass idea. I have to write
but
that
I'm like
down.
dark. I'm dark. Like so,
Me too.
what I would do is like I would have one of the kids get bit by the bear, and then they
Yes.
can't scream because then if you scream, you're gonna make sure the whole family die. Like the family will
Well,
die.
but they're so
Uh,
young to they're too young to really understand that concept though. So how are they
I
gonna
know.
say, huh, let me think.
Which like the mom like has to like put her hand over her child's mouth while they're like
Oh,
agonizing.
okay. Gotcha. Let me think. What else was I missing? Okay, here we go. Okay. So I figure that they have all this land because they're super, super rich. So I like your idea of the dad doing a bad deal and then not being able to like really deal with it because there's no phones or whatever. But I also was thinking of going the cliche way of maybe they had like a security company come and install some stuff in their house, and the people saw the guys saw all of the like expensive shit they had, and they came back to like steal from them or something like that, or
Oh,
rob them.
ooh, you know what? You could do this. I don't
Mhm.
like that. I've been thinking about doing a little play.
Mhm.
Maybe they rent out their Airbnb room, and the people came back to kill them.
Ah, see? Maybe the
See, that's because
grandma was a bitch or something, and the people left. And they came back and they were like, okay, we're coming back to kill this bitch and rob this whole family because they were dicks to us or something. I don't know. We gotta figure this out.
I'd be afraid of that. Like I had a guy just keep our key. Whenever someone keeps our key to our door, we always have to get our keys relocked, because that's
Wow.
always my worst fear. That like they're just
Yep.
gonna they like came to scope out the house, and then they already have a key, so like they wouldn't make noise coming back in, and then they would
Mhm.
just like murder me in the middle of the night.
Jesus. Yeah, that's actually fucking frightening. I didn't even think about that. You don't have that little keyless thing?
I bought one, but then my door doesn't fit. Like I would have to get a whole new door because I got like the keyless,
Oh,
the keypad with like the
yeah,
digital
because that's usually
number.
what they have.
And no, like my door, the holes are too small, so like it's not a standard door. So
Oh,
we're renting, so I'm like I'm not gonna buy a whole door
yeah.
with a whole lock. So we have surveillance, and I got a pit bull.
I was
Just
gonna
come on in.
say. I was
He's
gonna
big and he's
say.
hungry. Like
Oh. So yeah, you guys will you'll survive. Okay. So shoot, I just remembered. I was just thinking about something and I can't remember what it was. It was pertaining to the fact that of how the robbers got in and blah 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 blah. Fuck. Whatever. Okay. So moving back to the very beginning, very beginning. Um, I okay. I need to make characters, which is the mom and the dad, because they're the, I guess, they won't be the saviors, but you're going to assume that one of them is going to save them. So they have to be like the main characters. I need to make them likable, but make them hateable at the same time. Because like the best movies have those traits where like maybe the dad didn't want to do this all in the first place and he was cranky the whole time and then he's saving his family, or, him and the, autistic kid ends up saving their family, yada, yada, yada. Or maybe like the dad and the mom had a tiff before they did this, but they're trying to save face for the kids, but they're like really about to get a
Ooh,
divorce or
that's
something.
yeah. I like that divorce idea, and I feel like that
See?
should be part of the way. Or maybe we can even make it even better.
Mhm.
And like so, the wife actually has set this all up so she can
Ah.
so she can get the money from the husband. So maybe the husband was supposed to be inside the house, or like the whole point is
Got
to
it.
us. And then the grandma is actually his mother because she hates that bitch,
Got it.
and so that's why she dies. And then
Okay.
this whole time she's just playing like, oh my god, someone's in the house. But then like when it turns around, like she's the evil one. But then the dad and the son actually have to kill the mom and the other guys in the house. That's deep.
Haha. See? Deep.
That's deep.
Deep.
That's like Get Out. That's like Get Out when
Yeah.
you thought that his girlfriend was on his side the whole time, like the whole
Yep.
time, until she was on that motherfucking stairs and started smiling.
Yep.
I was like, oh shit. Oh.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. I still think our way of keeping them in the backyard is weak though.
Yeah. Well,
Except for the
that
animal.
would
The
explain
animals.
that would
The
explain
wait.
it though. If
The
the
bear
mom,
thing keeps
the
them
bears.
keeps them there.
See, I think the mom knowing that it's a whole setup. That's why she's just like like every time the dad's like, "Let's go," she makes an excuse like, "Oh, we can't go because we have kids," and "Oh, we can't do this."
Yeah.
But then she unsuspectingly a bear comes, so she has to deal with that, and that wasn't part of her plan.
Got
Um,
it.
so I feel like that's why they're still stuck in the backyard because ultimately she's trying to get him to go in the house, so he can get murdered, so she can
Mm.
get all the money.
Got it. Got it. Holy hell. Okay, cool. Totally changed my mindset, and now this is working for me because I was super lost. Listen, Carlos, I've seen enough horror movies. Horror movies are my life. I've seen enough horror movies to know all the elements that need to be in it. The element of surprise, the element of disgust, the element of suspense, and I love gore, so it's got to be bloody, 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 bloody. So we need to talk about how these people die. So how does the grandma die? How do they kill her? How does the mom die? How do they kill her? How does anybody else in the storyline die? How do they die? That's one thing we have to talk about.
Um, So I feel like for the grandma, they should cut her tongue out and like bash her teeth in with a hammer. But then
Jesus.
on
Or better yet, they take her eyeball out because nobody likes an eyeball scene, and I feel like
yes,
that's the kicker.
yeah, I would, and I actually wouldn't even kill her. I would just
Torture
maim
her,
her. Like, yeah, just take her eyeballs out and they're torturing her because they're trying to find out where her son is and like
and
where
she
he
won't
keeps the safe,
say.
and she
See,
won't
I
say.
thought about that before. I thought about that. That's a good idea. Okay, cool. How are they gonna kill the mom after the dad figures out that she's in on all this bullshit?
I think that's well either two ways. So, um, like he's gonna have to kill her in the house, or if he figures out what's going on, he's gonna have to somehow figure out that she's in cahoots
Mhm.
the guys. So I think all of my best scary movies, like your weapons get used against you.
True.
So I feel like the grandma's gonna come back and just stab the fuck out of her. Like they thought they won, right? And they thought the grandma's in the bedroom just dying
Mm.
slowly,
True.
and they have the dad sitting there, and they're about to murder the dad, and then maybe the grandma comes and like all bloodied up and like missing her teeth and missing an eye, and like shoots the wife in the back of the head.
See,
And then
theories
I don't
work.
think the kids should ever wake up until like after the movie.
Okay.
And then like that's how it wraps up. Like the police are there and they're like, "Dad, what happened?" And like they come out of the tent. Yeah, except for the slow one, but
The
he
slow
saw the
one.
whole thing.
Of course, the slow one saw the whole thing. Um, I bet you laughed at me when I said it's some kind of challenge. You made
We
me feel
going to
like an
hell.
asshole.
Going to hell.
Like autism or some kind of challenge.
Going to hell.
I figured that there had to be some kind of annoying fucking element to it. You know, an element where you're like, is this kid gonna fuck it up for us? Or is this kid gonna, you know, act right? Blah, 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 blah. Alright, so now that we've kind of worked out, I'm gonna do a Doug. I'm gonna go scene by scene and I'm gonna wrap this up so that we can know exactly what movie we have. So
Okay.
the way it's gonna work from what we've discussed and what I've planned out in my head is um, I don't want to go the Airbnb way. I think I'm gonna go the way that you said before. That the dad is into something he shouldn't really be in. He has all this money and he's doing some bad deals and he's trying to rectify a situation. But the mom's like, no, let's go take the kids out on his fucking trip in the backyard. And so they have an argument. They're on the brink of divorce because he's always into his work, she's always into her hobbies. The kids, they're getting, they're not older at all, but they're getting older, so they both want to spend time with them before they lose interest, but they're spending time with them less and less. It's a big fucking issue, so it's causing a rift in their marriage. Blah 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 blah. So the guy's like trying to tell her, okay, but I have to take my cell phone with me, and she's like, no, this is a cell phoneless night, yada yada yada. I don't want to do this right now in front of the kids and blah blah blah. So he's like, fine, whatever. But it has to, he's gonna have to be up by like 6 or something because he wants to deal with these people. So before he hangs up the phone with the people he's doing a bad business with, he's gonna say he's gonna be like, okay, I gotta go. But then the guy on the other end's gonna be like, no, you can't. I have to tell you something, blah blah blah. And what he was gonna tell her is that they're gonna be there at a certain time, but he doesn't get to tell her. If
Mhm.
he doesn't rectify a situation, they'll be there by like 10 or whatever. The guys will be coming for you, but he doesn't get to tell you that. That's gonna be a separate. Like they're gonna pan to the other guy, almost saying that, but doesn't get the chance to. So they set up the whole tent thing. They go in the backyard. The grandmother's all like, no, I'm not gonna be in the same place, stuck in some place all night with her, blah blah blah. You guys can deal with everything on your own. I'm gonna be in my room, in my bed, relaxing, blah 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 blah. So she stays inside. Um, so it gets, they get there around 6. It starts getting dark. They had their little potted dinner that they made to pretend like they're fucking camping because white people shit, and they do all that stuff and do all the like ghost stories and camping stories and all that stuff. And the kids start getting a little bit sleepy. So they're like, okay, well, we can try to turn in for the night. So the kids go to sleep, right? I'm not gonna have her drug them yet. I don't know. I don't know how to make that work. I feel like they would. Benadryl doesn't work that fast. So I can't be like, oh shit, someone's in the house. Let's drug these kids real quick. They'll be quiet in a few minutes. That's not. That's not how it works. So just thinking logically. Somehow
So
they're gonna stay asleep.
maybe they just sleep the whole night.
Maybe they're just heavy sleepers. I don't know. What the fucking ever. It doesn't matter. So they go to sleep. The parents, have a little tiff while the kids are sleeping, like whispering, arguing. And then they go to sleep, on separate sides of the tent, all angry and shit. And it comes around 10 to, no around 10:15. They start hit like they see the back door light come on, which will have it where like if somebody pulls into the driveway, the lights on the outside usually turn on. But so
Hmm.
they don't see the car, but they see the back door light turn on, and it kind of wakes them up a little bit because it's odd. And they're like, okay, it's probably nothing, and they just kind of peer out the tent and just be like, okay, whatever, probably like a fucking raccoon or some bullshit, you know. Um, and then all of a sudden, they, like I said, they start seeing different lights on in different rooms switch on pretty rapidly. Like there's somebody like frantically going through their house turning on lights. So they know it's not the old ass cranky lady because she can't move that fucking fast. So they know it has to be somebody else. Then they see a gentleman kind of like burst open their blinds, not blinds, but the curtain to look outside with, kind of like peering outside, but he doesn't see anybody. So then they're like, what the fuck? It's this guy with the mask on. Then they start seeing the shadows of the other guys coming into the room once he closes the curtain, and they're like, holy shit, what's happening? The the dad still doesn't really have an idea yet, and the mom's not in on it at all, like because in this scenario of it, so she's like, I don't know what the fuck's going on.
Hmm.
So the dad still doesn't get that it's these guys are coming after him for their money or whatever the fucking thing that he just fucked up on. So time goes past a little bit. They're panicking. They're like, "What do we do?" Yada yada yada. Then they start seeing the light come on in the mom's room, the grandmother's room, and she starts screaming, but like not too loud because they won't. It doesn't wake up the kids, but they can hear it in a distance because they're far enough away. And so they know something's happening to the grandmother. So it pans inside. You see them torturing the grandmother because I like that aspect of it. So they torture him and try to ask where Jeff is. I don't fucking know. We'll name him Jeff because white people. So where's Jeff? Blah blah blah. Where's my fucking money? Yada yada yada. Some make them look like some rough niggas, crazy looking crazy dudes. And she's like, I'm not telling you shit, and she spits in their face. And listen, I'm actually like watching this movie in my head right now. So she spits in their face, and they get more angry, and then they, pop an eyeball out or something. I don't know. We'll figure that out. But meanwhile, the family in the backyard is still freaking out, and then they still realize that the kids are starting to like kind of snuggle awake a little bit. That's when she'll have the liquid Benadryl, poke a hole in it, right? Poke holes in it because I do this shit, and squeeze it in their mouths, right? So before they wake up, because this will work. This will work. I'm telling you, Carlos, this will work. So before they wake up, so they don't even get a chance to really fully wake up because before they know it, they're back asleep again in like about 20 minutes. Meanwhile, they're frantically trying to figure out how they're gonna get out of the tent, how they're gonna save their mother, blah 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 blah. Then it dawns on Jeff. We're gonna call him Jeff. That these must be the guys that are after his money. They're out for their money. And so he's like, honey, I gotta tell you something. And then he kind of expresses the fact that he's been in some dirty shit, which is, regular horror movie white people stuff is talking about things that don't need to be talked about at that very moment. Like, you're fucking fighting for your life, but you're talking about when you cheated on each other and you start crying and shit. What the fuck? This happens all
And
the
then
time.
start kissing.
Yes, like not the fucking time. So that's gonna happen in this movie because it's gotta be cliche because that keeps people watching. So they're gonna start talking about it. She's like, "Oh my god, you're a fucking bastard. You shouldn't be putting our family in danger like this." Blah blah blah. Yada yada yada. Some other stuff, right?
Hmm.
So after they had their little tiff, then they realize they hear growling outside. This is when the motherfucking bear appears. So new element to the story because there's a giant bear, and he's fiddling around the tent or whatever. So here's the kicker, Carlos. I thought about this as we were talking. What if the guys on the inside, since they keep peering out, waiting for them to come home, they notice the bear, and the bear is roaming around the tent because they hear the people and they can smell the people in the tent. Then they fucking realize the tent is there. So then
Oh
they put two and
yeah.
two together that they might be in the tent because their cars are outside, their stuff's inside. They're not in the house, so they have to be in that tent. But there's a bear in between the both of them. So so that's kind of how that works. Okay, so now I don't know how we're gonna tie this all together, but somehow the autistic kid's gonna wake up, and the mother's trying to like calm him down, saying, "Honey, I need you to be calm." Blah blah blah. That kid never takes pills, and that will be like a thing that happens at the beginning of the movie. She's trying to get him to take a pill or something, and he like has this fucking spaz out, so they know they can't try to get him to take the Benadryl. So there, she has to start explaining to him like, you have to keep calm, everything will be fine. There's, we're a little bit in danger. We need you to be brave for mommy and daddy. So what they do is, I don't know. I feel like the autistic kid has to get eaten or get made. I'm sorry.
Damn.
I'm sorry.
Damn.
No. I'm
Damn.
sorry. I feel like they devised this plan about trying to distract the bear while he runs somewhere to the other side of the house to try to get the. I don't fucking know. I don't know. But in mid stride, the bear goes and then like the kid's gone. Or
Oh, like I have a perfect idea. So
Okay.
before like the beginning of the movie, at the beginning of the movie, he's playing in the front of the house. He has a tree house that he keeps like all his like electronics, so like his tablet, his walk are in his tree house, and the mom is trying to get him to come down and take his medicine, and he doesn't want to take the medicine, and that's when he does all the freaking out. So that night, the mom was like, "All right, I need you to go to your tree house, and I need you to go get your tablet out of your tree house so we can contact the police." And as he's trying to go to his tree house, the bear catches him.
There you go. There you go. But how about while he's getting bitten, he throws the tablet to them, so he saves the day. Ha ha.
This is a shitty movie.
Carlos, give me some fame. Have some fame. You're the worst.
I want my money back.
Did that do it for you? Isn't that flip the table moment when the kid's like, "Guys, I'll save you," throws the tablet to them, and then in mid stride he's getting ripped apart by this bear.
That's fucked up. But yeah, that's fucked up, but that's a movie.
So anyway, all right, so they're able to contact somebody who comes, and the police are called, and the guys start escaping, but one doesn't make it. Then the one guy's in the jail, and they're interrogating him, and he's like, "Okay, well, we were sent here by this big guy that blah 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 is the head honcho of this whatever association, and to track down this guy Jeff that stole, something $1,000 from him, blah blah blah." Then they find out that the dad's into all the illegal shit, so he gets arrested, and her and the kids are safe except for the one poor one that got eaten. And something, whatever, the fuck ever, I don't care. It ends. Now, the point. So, going scene by scene and being a consumer and being an educated consumer, what would you think about this movie from start to finish? What irritated you about this movie, and what did you like about this movie? Because you always have to think like a consumer when you're creating a project. So, go.
I like the fact that we thought the whole time, like, that the autistic kid was going to be the problem, but he ended up being the hero. So that was cool. I like the fact that the dad got arrested eventually. I think that it's kind of cool that like they were trying to do this whole family get together to save the marriage, but then she ended up having to divorce him because he killed her kid, and so they ended up getting divorced anyways. Let's see. Yeah, I think the bad guy should be Russian, and he's into like some like Russian meddling. He's into Russian meddling and like selling arms in the black market, and he works for the U.S. government.
Perfect.
Yeah, I like it. I think it's a good idea. I like it.
You're a liar, but we're gonna make this work.
No, I mean, the only thing I didn't like, but it's just like, how did the kids not wake up? And then you over here poking out.
Exactly.
What type of Benadryl do you got?
There's holes in this story, Carlos. Trust me.
There are holes in the story. Like,
in its rare form, squirted up your mouth is gonna do something, especially if you're already tired.
Like, why did this autistic kid got to get eaten by the bear? Like, why?
Why is there a bear? There's so much wrong with this story.
Where are your neighbors? Where?
They live on a million acre farm land. Remember?
So now they live on a 1,000,000 acre farmland. Y'all deserve to die. Like,
Whatever.
overall, I think it has good bones. You just gotta put the meat on it.
I'll have Netflix put the meat on it. I just want them to like give me money for my story and make it whatever. And then when I see it and it's completely fucking different, I'm gonna be pissed. But I have the money. But no, I'll figure out the bones. I mean, the meat of the story. I'll figure it out. Um, but I think we accomplished it being very cliche, suspenseful. We haven't. I didn't get to add all the gore because I still, except for no, okay, an autistic kid gets eaten and mauled by a bear. Never mind, we're fine. Um, I can't wait to relay this to other people. I'm so excited. Anyway,
Hey,
okay,
you
well,
ain't shit. You ain't shit.
anyway, well, that was Real Shit Fridays, guys. You guys were with me in the conception of a wonderful movie idea that will be in theaters near you in the year 2020. I promise.
It's 2020.
I promise. Carlos, do you have anything you want to end us with? You want to let us know what you're doing for the week?
Yeah, no, not really. I'm taking self-care weeks the next couple weeks, so I'm gonna be not on social media that much because I'm just
Okay.
trying to focus on my mental health and getting all of that situated and stuff. Yeah, no, just taking it easy and trying to make sure that the content that I'm listening to and that I'm putting out is positive and good and not hurtful for anyone. I do want to say something though before we go.
Mhm.
I had this girl, so I had a viral video. I don't know if you've seen the one when I had to guess the people's
Yes,
voices.
I loved
Do have
it.
you?
I loved it.
Okay, so you know the line where I said, "Oh, he's definitely Latino because he can't
Mhm.
speak English." The internet is
Of
dragging me right
course.
now,
Of course.
and I'm used to it. But this I wanted to put out to. I made a mistake by I screenshotted this one girl's uh
Comment.
message, and she was like, "Oh, yeah," her comment, yeah, and she was just like, maybe Carlos has changed because of all of the police brutality he's been in, and like she was putting in personal stories of like what has happened to me this year. And I made a post on my Instagram, and I was like, you know nothing about me, you don't know what had happened,
Mhm.
and like that's too far for you to take something that really happened in
Exactly.
my life to
Something
to
personal.
yeah, something personal to just say that's why you dislike me or that's why maybe I'm an asshole, so that's why that happened to me. I did not realize that when I posted that, people reached out to her and like really like destroyed her. Like she sent me this 15-minute video of like her crying, and she was a 13-year-old girl. I didn't even know how old she was because it's the internet. So
Mhm.
the reason I'm bringing this up is I feel like as content creators and as content users, guys, just be careful.
Yes.
Just be careful. Like this little girl was torn, like she was torn to pieces, and like she was reading
Mhm.
comments that people had sent. But to be fair, you opened up Pandora's box.
She
You went
brought it onto
online.
herself.
You brought
Yeah.
it up. You brought upon yourself. And when I clapped back and when I posted you, you didn't realize how many supporters that I had
You
who
gave
would
her a
do.
lesson in the real world. It's fine.
Yeah,
It's
I
fine.
think but I just I felt super bad because I was just like, I did to her what people are doing to me, and I'm used to it. It's my job. This little 13-year-old is so, and you could just tell she was crying and she was like questioning herself. So I just want to let you guys know, just if you really don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. Like,
Exactly.
and I know, and then people are like, well, Carlos, you're the one to say it because you're saying all
It's
all rude shit on.
entertainment. you're
but it's
on.
entertainment. Thank you.
Like I don't know what people don't understand about things are going to be said that doesn't show who they truly are as a person. They're trying to be entertaining. They're putting on a show. They're giving an experience. It's supposed to be funny. It's supposed to be, raw. It's supposed to be that way.
It's like when you see an actor and they're playing a role of a pedophile. That person is not a pedophile.
That
That's the
doesn't mean
role
they
that they're
like to
playing.
touch kids. That's not how it's
And-
not how this
Well,
works.
and I think because it's on YouTube, people think it's not media.
Exactly.
It's media. It's like if you saw me in a movie and I was playing this sassy, mean black guy who says whatever. It's a role I play, and that's not who I
Exactly.
am. It's literally a role. So, yeah, I just wanted to end with that. Like, be careful, guys. Like, even just be careful. Like, because I would feel bad if she were to do anything to herself or vice versa. Like, I just be careful. Just be careful with me.
Very,
Uh,
very good words of wisdom, though, to leave people with.
yeah.
Because it's a dangerous place, especially if you're that young. Um, you know, just be aware of how visceral and how there's trolls for trolls, as you can see. There's trolls that
Hmm.
will troll a troll, so it's a very dangerous, clicky, scary environment. So if you're young, just do your best job at more staying, being observant. Keep your opinion as minimal as you can, because there's going to be people who disagree with you from both sides. And if you can't handle it, if you're not a thick-skinned person, it's gonna rip you to pieces. So
Yeah.
just be careful. Just be
That's the message of the week. Be careful online, people. Be
careful.
careful.
All
Well,
right,
this was
guys.
a fun show. I'm excited. I missed you, Coco. We've done like I haven't talked to you in like 2 weeks, feels
I
like.
know. I missed you too. I'm sorry. I've had terrible, terrible luck. So hopefully I'll be able to get a break. Next week is my anniversary week, so hopefully I'll be able to get some rest and relaxation and some TLC, and just be able to go and have a good time. So I should be my normal self and on all of our shows after next week for sure.
Perfect.
But
Perfect.
yes, but I missed you guys. I'm glad we got to hash out this awesome movie idea. I cannot wait to get all the meat on these bones and pitch it to all of the production companies I can, because this is going to be something, Carlos. I don't care what you say. This is going to be something. I'm telling you. But all right, guys, thank you so much for listening to Real Shit Friday. Until next time, what do we say, Carlos?
Stay
Stay
savage.
savage, guys. Bye.
Bye.